Welcome to the Desert Lair Bar, episode 15. I'm Dustin. This is a series of first impressions, so I'm trying a malt whiskey from every actively producing Scottish distillery that has a standard available bottling of single malt. The point is to establish a baseline of distillery character with a heavy emphasis on price to performance to help me determine which distilleries I want to explore more and which ones I don't. I don't want price to performance to be the be-all, end-all of how I approach a spirit, but it's pretty important, so something we need to discuss. To facilitate this, I've started a spreadsheet. There's a link in the description. It has a primary sorting with score, high to low, and a secondary sorting with price, low to high. This time around, we're talking about Benriach, the Smoky 10. So Benriach, I think, has the normal unpeated malt, and then they have a peated malt, and then I think maybe they have a triple distilled as well. So they have kind of three different malts there. This one, owned by Brown-Forman. I think we discussed that in the first Benriach. We did the unpeated one. So again, Brown-Forman, they own several high-profile brands. The most high-profile Jack Daniels, so pretty well known, right? Pretty famous. This one is 46% ABV. I do believe it's naturally colored. It does say natural color, I think, on the tube, natural cask imparted color. I don't know that it says it on the bottle. And I do believe it is non-chill filtered. So casks, this one is a bourbon cask, a Jamaican rum cask, and virgin oak. I bought this in December of 2024. Interestingly, one of the things I do like about this bottle is there is a stamped label on here that tells you the year, the month, and the date, and maybe even the time there that this bottle was produced. So a lot of these bottles have bottling codes that have a lot of this information built into it, but you have to kind of figure that out or do some research and look it up. This one, straight stamped on there. This was bottled in 2020 on November 30th. So I kind of like that it just stamps right on there. Hey, here's when we made this. Or rather, here's when we bottled this. So I bought this in 2024. It was bottled in 2020. So it sat on a shelf for a couple years before it got to me. I paid about $53 for this 700 milliliter, which means a 750 milliliter would be about $57. My 50 milliliter pour here is about $3.76. Locally, I cannot find this. Online, for the 700 milliliter, it's about the same price I paid for it before, roughly about $54. You can find it for online. We'll get into the tasting notes here. Smell. Applewood liquid smoke, smoked apples, vanilla, and bitter wood. Taste. Taste pretty much follows the nose. You get that liquid smoke right up front, and then you get smoked apples, maybe a little bit of caramel apple, and then some nutmeg. On the finish, wood spice, wood smoke. Still, that wood smoke is just dominant here. White pepper and then some ginger. The smoke in this is definitely dominant. I've seen a few people say that the smoke in one of these was light and kind of fleeting. I don't know what bottle they picked up, but to me, the smoke in this is very dominant. And then it's followed by the virgin oak, that kind of spiciness that you get. I don't get really any of the rum, especially not Jamaican rum cask in this. It's just overpowered by the smoke and the virgin oak to me. I do like, again, this bottle, same thing as the other bottles. So they give you on here kind of some notes here. So they tell you maturation, bourbon, Jamaican rum, and virgin oak. And then they give you tasting notes, nose, ripe fruit, smoked honey, oak spice. They tell you that the smoke level is rich. On the palate, they say applewood, honey maple, spiced pear, lingering smoked oak. I feel like those notes are pretty accurate. That gives you a pretty good idea of what you're going to get from this, I think. The tube here goes a little more in depth, thanks to a long-standing tradition of distilling 3 styles of whiskey: classic unpeated, Highland peated, and triple distilled, together with an eclectic selection of class, blah, blah, blah. I don't really care about that. What I do care about is they tell you they have 3 distinct styles of whiskey. In the early 1970s, Benriach broke the convention in Speyside by returning to distilling batches of whiskey in the old 19th century style using malted barley smoked with Highland peat. This wood-rich Highland peat imparts distinctly sweet and smoky notes into the Benriach peated whiskeys. We'll go ahead and throw the spreadsheet up here. Benriach Smoky 10 has been crafted from a combination of unpeated and peated spirit and 3 casks matured for at least 10 years in bourbon barrels, Jamaican rum casks, and toast virgin oak. The whiskey from each cask is then expertly married together to create sublimely blah, 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 marketing speak. So again, I like the information on this tube. They tell you in the 70s they returned to making whiskey or distilling batches with whiskey that has peated barley. They tell you the 3 different styles of whiskey that they make. They tell you the casks that they use. The other interesting bit of information here, unlike some of these whiskeys that will mature a spirit in a cask and then finish it at the end in a different cask, they specifically tell you here that they mature the spirit in 3 different casks for at least 10 years, and then they marry those casks together. It's nice that they tell you that. Score for this one, 81 out of 100. So, also, again, before I forget, we'll just crack another bottle open here. So we'll add the another one to a rotation here. This is Tamnavolan double cask. I like to open these up, kind of drink them for a little bit. Get them at least down to the shoulder before I start really reviewing them and making notes on them typically. So we'll add that one to the rotation. That's all I have for this one. Drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. Use the rideshare apps. Don't be a dick. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time.